All right, we are up and rolling. What is up, YouTube? Let's get this out to the Telegram and Discord. Let's go. Nice. So, just double checking we got everything rolling here. We look good. Awesome, man. Stream connection. Excellent connection. Nice. So, we are here back at it again for NYSE close. Going to be looking at the E-mini Dow, YM in the futures market. This would be US 30 in the CFD market if you're trading CFDs or in the FX market. Got some nice wins this morning. Got in early on Dow as it was starting to sell off. Obviously, took a handful of sells on the way down. Worked out pretty nice. Ended up giving a little bit back as it came down and started to chop out. I didn't hold for one enormous move. I took a couple sells on the way down, scaled out as price was moving down. So worked out nice. Running in some profit on the day, not at the high, but we will see what we get for end of NYSE session. It is 2:32 p.m. Eastern on Monday, April 1st, and we'll see what kind of volatility we get coming in. So I'll kind of break down my initial analysis, how I mark up my charts for the U.S. indices. I'll start by very, very simple discretionary approach. I'll start by placing a vertical line for 9:30 a.m., which is NYSE open. I will mark somewhat of a pre-market range. I'll take a pre-market high, looking back towards 1 a.m., 2 a.m. in the morning, and I'll take a pre-market low. So this would be my high, this would be my low. Sometimes I throw, a middle ground line there halfway between the two. Sometimes I don't. The stuff on the chart we could take off for the moment. None of this is really important to what we're doing here. The session volume I'll leave on. That's the most important. But outside of that, I'll mark out prior day's high and low with a vertical bar. I'll go out to the daily. I'll mark out prior day high and low. Those are usually somewhat important zones that we want to be paying attention to. And then I'll mark out some support and resistance, supply and demand, order block, whatever you want to call them. Some more horizontal levels on the chart above and below the pre-market range, or mainly, above and below where price is trading at that moment, that I want to pay attention to. So if we zoomed out, what I've been doing, I'm not dead set on using highs or lows or the candle before the big impulsive move. I try to take it all into consideration. And really what I've been doing lately is just using points of control from prior session volume. We get some pretty reliable volume in the futures market. So this tool can be pretty cool to look at. And honestly, it's worked well for the zones that I like to trade off of. Price seems to react there. It's an area that I want to pay attention to. Again, I don't use them like a pinpoint where I need to be, price is going to turn around or stop at this area. I just want some kind of zone on my chart to know if price is, look at the bottom's falling out and price is coming down. Where may it find some, support? Where may price start to slow down? Maybe it's around one of these, pre-marked levels. So I'll take the point of control, which is marked by the highest area of volume traded for that session, and I will use that as a zone on the chart. I'll also mark off zones that I just think are important to pay attention to. Like this morning, the two that I had coming down was this area marked off of this point of contact, point of control, along with these lows, these highs. That was below the pre-market range and below prior day low. And then I also had marked off this area here, just another area that had been tested, as support before a really big push up. Maybe we could see some kind of what guys identify as order block or supply and demand zone, that type of deal. And then again, I've kind of just been marking off a lot of these points of control. I've kind of been experimenting more with the volume stuff. Mostly my charts are just bare, no indicators, not a ton of stuff on them. Literally one style, one color of candle. I don't need, 100 different things on my charts to be able to trade. But again, in the futures market, we get some reliable volume. It's a centralized, regulated market. All of the data is coming from, one exchange. So the volume is reliable and it can be used and viewed. And I believe a lot of other traders are paying attention to it. So it's been interesting to look at. Again, hasn't been groundbreaking, really. My market structure, price action way of trading, discretionary way of trading. I don't think it's going to be massively impacted by it, but transitioning from the Forex market into the futures market, I'm going to try to take advantage of anything that wasn't made available to me in the Forex market. So I'm going to be looking at stuff like order flow, footprint charts, try to look at delta and stuff like that. In the future, see if there's, anything that can help me. That's fine. But again, for the most part, I keep my stuff pretty simple. So, if you're interested in this is session profile HD. It marks off by session start, and, it starts printing throughout the session. It'll, print and then stay there. So you can see the higher, the areas of high volume, that type of deal. VWAP, not super important. Volume weighted average price, maybe on a low time frame. It's just been interesting to look at, so I leave that on there for now. And then just the traditional volume that, like, if you open up TradingView or really any other candlestick chart, you will see just the traditional volume marked on the bottom. So that's the overview, the basis of what we had this morning. Price was trending down. Let's start at the higher time frame, actually. Let's go out to the 4 hour. Pretty obvious if you've been paying attention to anything trading. U.S. markets have been on a tear to the upside, really strong uptrend. The Dow, NASDAQ, S&P, everything's pushing up really, really hard. We've come into this, really, really high area, putting in fresh highs. So market has sold off a bit. Prior to this morning, we could see price pulled back down kind of to these areas, these highs, maybe found some support, started to push back up, put a new high in, and now has since sold off. So when we look at what was going on this morning, had some consolidation, and then price did start trailing to the downside at market open. This was the low of the session at market open, kind of pushed up for a second there, really didn't clear anyway, even halfway back into the pre-market range, and then just started to fall to the downside. This was some serious movement here, as you can see. Quite a few points were available to grab, so got some nice sells on the downside. Again, stayed a little bit too aggressive in here as it started to get a little bit later for me in the morning, where it found a little support, chopped around before falling down. So since then, kind of put this double bottom in. Again, I don't pay attention too much to specific chart patterns. I'm just looking at market structure. Is price trending down? Is it creating lower lows, higher lows, that type of deal? What does price action look like? Do we have really big volume and momentum candles pushing to the upside, breaking above prior highs? Maybe it's an indication that price is going to move up. But right now, it's kind of just continued this trickle down. Started to slow, obviously, with this much more sideways movement, not as aggressive of a waterfall here. Again, kind of close with these lows here to push back up. Hasn't really started to break above any highs yet. It's not trading up here. So maybe we see some kind of pullback towards the end of the day. That's not completely unlikely. Or maybe this move just continues, this sell-off just continues, and we push further down. If we jump up to the 15-minute, this would be the next area, I'd be looking for. We came down, didn't break below this low right here, but this area of high volume, this kind of price action, these highs right here would be the next area I'd be looking at. And then if we got below that, I'll mark off another area. I'll use this point of control and these lows to create another zone right here. That would kind of be the next area if we were coming down. Below that would really be way down here. This area, this price action here, this low, this high. We'll throw a zone on the chart. now we've got 1,000 zones on the chart, and we'll know for sure what price is going to do. Awesome. So yeah, that's what we're looking at. Leveraging the time of day, the volume and volatility that's been coming into the market. Obviously, if you go back on the US 30 or Dow chart, you'll see at 9:30 for New York Stock Exchange open, volume and volatility comes into the market. Usually we get some price action that pushes around, and then you're going to get, a decent amount of movement, or whatever movement's going to be for that day. If you don't get anything, it just chops around. Maybe you get it later in the afternoon towards session close. It's why I've been trading it. I've had a lot of fun the last few times on this live session, and even before that, trading it. A lot of volatility. Volume comes in towards that 3 p.m. Eastern to 4 p.m. Eastern, right before the close time frame. You can get a big continuation move to the downside. You can get a reversal to the upside if it was trending down. So I try to stay flexible. I look at what market structure's been doing. I look at the trend, look what happened for that day, where my zones are, where it might pull back to, where it might break down from, and try to capitalize on that movement. You'll see me take entries with some pretty tight stop losses. It's somewhat of a scalping strategy. Not really scalping in the sense that I'm on the 5-minute chart here, and I'm going to wait for somewhat of the move to happen, try to capture more than 2 or 3 pips out of the move, ticks out of the move, since we're trading futures here. So, but the entries are somewhat aggressive. If I get stopped out, I may jump right back in the same direction. I may flip direction. I'm going to just watch what price action is doing and try to, again, kind of set myself up to capitalize on whatever volatility or volume is going to come into the market. Sometimes we don't get it. Sometimes it just starts to chop a little bit, and we can get caught up in that. Gets a little bit frustrating, but that's just the nature of trading. Got to come to the charts with your plan of attack, your approach, and trade it every day. So I'll check Dow in a minute, but yeah, for this one, again, I'm just going to wait to see if we start to get some volatility. Again, this was a lot of movement for the day, for the morning. Maybe it's kind of that calmer close towards end of day here. If it continues up on this little bit of a trend here, starts to break this area, I'll look potentially for a long. If we start to see some big volume pushing up, maybe we get something along these lines that forms some structure to the upside that we want to jump in on. If not, this turns pretty aggressively, starts to print a nice candle to the downside. Maybe we jump in on the short side, and we're looking for, a nice run to the downside, that might get put in, fresh low for the day. So I'm somewhat flexible in this instance, and most instances towards beginning and end of the day. I'm not going to be dead set with a higher time frame bias. I'm taking it all into consideration, and I'm taking a look at where we are on the chart. Right now, I think it could go either way. Obviously, there has been a super clear downtrend for the day. Price is just falling out. Maybe that continues, but again, we can get some volume to the upside and capture, just a small move pushing back up to a zone headed towards a prior day, higher low. So we'll kind of see what we get here. I'm going to throw, just because I'm going to come away from the chart for a second, I'm going to throw some alerts above and below price. This way I get an alert if price starts moving quickly while we're not paying attention. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. Again, I marked this chart the exact same way. I use the same basic tools that I've been paying attention to. So NASDAQ was trending down this morning. I was a little bit delayed because I wasn't paying attention to it. So this is this is a little bit above the pre-market range. This price is going to be off. But again, price pushed up to the upside, opened, actually broke just above the pre-market range high. Came all the way up here, tested these highs, and then followed Dow, and the price just fell. This was obviously a pretty large move from way up here. 600-700 ticks available for grabs. Kind of put the same structure in. This one's got a higher low that's printed off of this zone here. Maybe it's found some support for the time being, came down, kind of checked out this area of price action and structure, and has started to move up a little bit. Not really convincing on a huge up move. No big push above these highs. So, we'll kind of just see what we get on Dow. But I pay attention a little bit to NASDAQ. I try not to trade them both at the same time. Looking at one chart and taking into consideration the other one, you can kind of get crossed up. So I'm going to focus on the Dow. I'll switch back and forth just to have an idea of how NASDAQ's moving. Maybe they move correlated, maybe they don't. But kind of just another view of the U.S. market, what is going on with some other stocks. So we'll check. I'll check Forex afterwards. I'll go through my higher time frame analysis. If you guys stick around, we'll see if we get some trades on Dow first, and then we can go through Forex analysis. Let's take a look. Stream looks good. Cool. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, just let me know. Throw it in the chat. I can take a look at anything trading related. Happy to try to help you guys out. Sometimes we get some time, kind of just waiting around for price to do something towards the end here. But I do like to be focused because it can happen pretty quick. We start to get a big impulsive move. I want to be getting in fairly quickly, and then, pay attention there. So, but again, if you got any questions, approach trading related, really anything to do with trading, I'm happy to BS about it while we're on the live. So just going to do a little bit of measurement, see what kind of stop loss I'll be working with. Yeah, what I usually do is I'll jump in with, the contract size that I'm comfortable with. Again, this is in the futures market, individual contracts. This is the $5 contract, the E-mini Dow. And I'll have a stop loss that gets set with the order, and then I'll drag the stop loss down to really the area that I want it. Usually it's going to be pretty close to whatever I'm entering, but usually enter the trade, move the stop loss right away to the area that I want it to sit, and then that's my initial risk in the market. I will try to get stop loss to break even pretty quick on these trades, and then I will scale out of the position. I try to make more on my winners than I lose on my losers by having a positive risk to reward. So, we'll see. But again, discretionary. I don't have set in stone rules. There's no black and white, system that I say this is exactly where I enter. My stop loss is exactly this many ticks, and I wait for exactly this to happen. I use price action and market structure. I allow myself that flexibility, and that seems to work out a lot better for me. So, getting a warning, the stream. Yeah, we're all right on here. Should be okay. Nice, man. So, get rid of these for now. Let's look at what the volume did today. Yeah, a lot of volume down here. Obviously, as price is kind of consolidated, there's been much more trading down here. It really did put some gaps in here. People call them imbalances. It really did kind of blast down without a whole lot of overlapping trading going on. So maybe it wants to come back up here, check this area out, head towards this area of lows, this price action here before the end of the day. If this uptrend is going to continue, maybe this was just the pullback, and we're going to see continuation up. Maybe not. Maybe it's going to keep falling. So, but yeah, obvious higher time frame uptrend. That bias is to the upside. But just on the more recent 5 and 15 minute, maybe we see price just start to retrace up to kind of clear some of this area of really low volume where, price just aggressively fell. I don't think that's unheard of to happen. So we will we'll wait and see, remain flexible. 2:50 p.m. coming up on that time frame. It's not right at 3 o'clock. It could be 2:30, could be 3:30. It just starts to usually tick up around that 3 o'clock time frame. But we'll stay patient. Again, sometimes you kind of just get chopped. Sometimes it's slow, and you can get caught up in it if you get a little bit too aggressive. But I'll have an order. Like, let's say I was going short. I'd probably go with my stop loss just above these candles or just above these candles. And then be looking to a move to the downside again, because I want to be getting in on the momentum and I want to see price move right away. This is a pretty short time frame to trade. We don't want to be caught up waiting around for price to chop back and forth. We'll set our initial stop loss and we'll let price move before we get it to break even a little bit. But the goal is to get in on that momentum, capitalize on the move. We want to see price move in our direction right away, or we want to just get stopped out and have a second opportunity to jump back in. That's really the name of the game. So we'll see. But yeah, there's been a lot of movement. If you guys go back through the last few days, last week, end of session has provided some really big trading opportunities, some big pushes. So we'll see what we get today. Again, sometimes, it's hard to say. It's not completely random, but it feels like if you get a big move in the morning, sometimes you don't get a big move in the afternoon, or vice versa. If you get a lot of consolidation, sometimes the end of day kind of picks up a little bit. But we'll kind of see what the market does for us here. Again, man, if you guys have any questions, let me know. Throw it in the chat. I could BS with you a little bit while we're waiting for something to happen on our charts. Just check in, making sure we got everything set. Cool. Nice. Jump over to NASDAQ quick. Really similar price action. Maybe we're going to start to see a little bit of a push up, but kind of wait and see on that one. Let's stay on the Dow, stay focused up, and we will get ready to jump in when it makes sense to do so. We start to break above this high and above this high, it's going to make a case for a push up. Sometimes you kind of get a big candle that comes in and get some volume, opposite of the direction that it's going to move in. Like it could wick up pretty quick and then start to push down. So I might just give it a second to enter once we start to get the volume. But I'm probably not going to wait for candle closures and an enormous amount of confirmation. I want to get in with that move, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Maybe we get another chance or two, but you wait too long, you miss the move. So yeah, I keep getting this warning. Hopefully you guys can see me all right. Stream's bitrate, I don't know, it's supposed to have that says good connection. We're all right. We are all good. Cool. Yeah, let's check Forex while we're waiting for this. I'm gonna throw an alert here, and if price starts breaking up or down, I'll jump back to the chart quickly. But while we are waiting, let's jump over to Forex. This way, we don't mess around. So Euro USD, we're on the 1 hour here, looking at Euro USD. Obvious downtrend. Had a couple sell trades over the last 2 weeks that worked out. We've got price pushed all the way back down. I had a sell after this high was put in on its way down and broke below these lows. Very nice. Pulled back up. And then I see we did go ahead and fall from this area. This was some analysis I threw out in the Telegram group. Fell all the way down to this zone. I wasn't taking a sell here. Figured it might pull back a little bit higher, but we had news at 10 a.m. today, so obviously Euro USD fell on that. Right down to another marked zone. Again, this is not volume on this chart, just areas of highs and lows, support and resistance, order block, you know, or whatever you want to call it, that type of deal, horizontal zones that we're paying attention to. So from here, I'm gonna have to wait and see. I'm gonna assume that there is going to be some form of a pullback, at very least, up towards this area here. Probably more likely up here. That's what I'm gonna be waiting for. If we get that, maybe I'll look for a sell on some momentum to the downside. If we don't and we just keep falling, which kind of happened this morning, maybe we'll look to get into sells. But obviously, this downtrend is prevailing and continuing down. So yeah, I'm gonna wait to see. I'm gonna throw an alert all the way up here. I'll throw an alert down below it on the 1 hour. This way, when it triggers, I'll take a look at what price action is doing. That's how I usually approach the Forex market. I will a little bit more of a swing trading approach than I'm taking on, obviously, on the U.S. indices. So I'm gonna say this pullback is pretty likely, and then a fall off from there. Maybe we get, you know, a much deeper pullback. It comes all the way up to these highs or this area here before pulling back. We'll just have to wait and see. So that's Euro USD. USD JPY. If you've been following along with the Forex market, it's at this major resistance zone. All of these highs. It's been trying to break above and hasn't been able to. Right now, it's just been in this consolidating range for the last really couple weeks. Yeah, this is Wednesday the 20th. We're all the way into April. So it's kind of consolidating in this area here. Here's my analysis from last week, waiting to see if it's going to break above or break below. I'm anticipating, like everybody else, maybe this thing starts to break up and just goes on a tear to the upside. There's, I think, quite a bit of fundamentals that are going on, with the Bank of Japan that are going to impact this. So we'll have to wait and see. I won't get in on the first breakup like we had this deal right here that pushed above these highs. I'll be waiting for some kind of structure to start to form. Probably be a little late to the party and then jump in. If we don't get that, we get a fake out and then a push down, or it just starts to trail down, it's not gonna do it. I'll start looking short. I'll be a little bit slower to be getting short on this one. Below this low really is the area that I would be looking, and then a continuation down. But interesting place for USD JPY. I'm not paying attention to any of the other JPY pairs. I think when this starts to happen, when this move develops, up or down, it's going to move pretty aggressively. It would just make sense that it's not going to slowly, consolidate, for forever. This might go on for a while. No idea. Maybe we get some small moves up and down in between, but this should be interesting to see. Next on my list, USD CAD. It's kind of a similar deal. Let's go back to Dow. We got something happening. I'll come back to USD CAD later. So we got Dow pushing down a bit. Get ready, get my trading tool up here. Trading straight from Trading View with this one. So somewhat of a breakdown, continuation, maybe to the downside on this move. We only got 35 seconds left on this candle, so I am going to wait for this one to close and decide how I want to take this. I'm not doing anything yet. I'm just measuring with the position tool. Yeah, right at 3 o'clock, we got a little bit of volume coming in. I'm going to wait on this one for a second. If this move continues, maybe we'll look for a sell. That wasn't really convincing. Again, it just started to break below these lows. It is kind of following this downtrend structure here. If this move was going to continue, wouldn't want to see it come all the way back above these highs. Let's just see. Yeah, let's go ahead and jump in on a sell. $30. Yeah, it's just not super convincing for me. I want to follow the price action right away, but this might develop very quickly, in which case I'll miss this move. But I think it could just be breaking to the downside a little bit before coming back up into this price action. This is the big volume of the day. I'm just going to wait for a little bit more price action and market structure to develop. I'll probably miss this move to the downside. It's just not fitting the structure that I like to see just yet. If we get a little bit of this push down, a pull back, and then another move to the downside, I'll take it. But right now, I'm just going to hold off for a bit here. Just watch how this develops. Didn't continue right away, so I'm just gonna give it a moment here. Again, might miss the move. Sometimes once it starts, obviously on the U.S. indices, it just moves quick. So you risk that not jumping in right away on the first candle that moves. But again, I'm watching market structure on this one, and I just don't love the first bearish candle coming down or the first bullish candle coming up as my indication. I'm gonna give it another candle, kind of see what happens. And go from there. Stream looks good. Let's see. Yeah, I can still see stuff over here. Says good. Nice. How do you get the dollar trading? Yeah, I don't know, man. This just naturally popped up for me. I don't use it, but it's just naturally popped up. I'm guessing it's by broker, what they allow you to do within TradingView. I know with the regulated forex broker that I've traded with, it's a little bit different. Sometimes they'll have different tools up here that pop up, but this is just the original stuff that popped up as soon as I logged in. Little bit of continuation to the downside. If we see a big push down, I might be tempted just to hop right in. I've got 4 contracts ready and a 40 tick or point stop loss on the E-mini Dow, the $5 contract. Each tick is 1 point, as you can see to the left when I'm using this position tool and measurement tool rather. The tick and the point value is the same. A little bit different in the NASDAQ and in some other sizing when you look at like CFDs and stuff like that. But makes it pretty simple for sizing on this one. But again, if I went to enter, I'd enter my stop loss would be arbitrarily entered at 40 ticks away, and then I would go ahead and just drag it up or down depending on whether I'm buying or selling. Yeah, so bottom didn't fall out on that one. Kind of why I waited with this long wick to the downside. Maybe this is the pullback up, and then we're going to see a push down further. If we get that, here's the move back up and then down below these lows. Maybe that's convincing. If this was just a wick down before coming up above these highs, might be looking for the long. But again, I'm really playing off of this price action here because of the time of the day. I'm anticipating a larger momentum move, impulsive move to the upside or downside, and to pick up a win off that. Yep, sell would have not been great so far. Would have had a stop loss right here or here. So thankful that I waited so far. Let's see what we get, man. Again, sometimes it just chops around, and it's best to try to stay out of it. But it's all about finding that balance of what trade fits your criteria for entry, and where you want to put your risk on. Because anybody that says, "Oh man, I know what's going to happen next. It's going to come above here, and then once it does this, it's going to do that." that's a bunch of BS. You know, you don't know what the market's going to do. You only know what it previously did based on, you know, a historical candlestick chart. That's what's going on here. And then where price actually is in the current candle. And we'll make a decision based on that, put our trade on, get involved, and then let the market play out. Either take that win, take that loss, but try to make ourselves available. So wick down, and now a push up. You know, like I don't dispute this downtrend, but again, I think a corrective move is a little more likely, just based on what I've seen, watching this stuff play out over and over and over again. After the big fall down, as if it's still moving kind of aggressively towards the end of the day, sometimes you just get that, you know, that trail to the downside. This one where it fell off hard and then right around that, you know, lunchtime for U.S. session started to find some support here. I think a push up back into, you know, these areas here is definitely possible, and it kind of can set it up for the, you know, overnight Asia session move where it just kind of trails back up to the you know, to the prior day you know, low or anything like that. So I'm just gonna wait and see. I'm really more comfortable going long on this, even with all this downside price action. But here was push down below these, you know, recent lows, nowhere near this low, and then push back up, and we're testing above this very recent high on the 5-minute. Maybe we start to get above this area here. But again, this can kind of just expand a little bit and really trap us if we're not careful. So I'm going to have to wait for price action on this one. I'm not so strongly biased that it's going to go up or down where I'm ready to hop in, you know, right in the middle of price action, right at the area of all the volume for the day, the highest, you know, highest point of volume, point of control. So just going to give this one a little bit of time to maybe indicate what it's going to do. We'll react to that by getting into the market, making ourselves available to make some money and control risk the best we can, because that's really all we can do. Leverage a couple pieces of technical analysis that provide a small edge. And then, you know, in my opinion, nice edge comes from controlling risk. You know, we can be very, very flexible on how we get into and out of the market. We can decide to move our stop loss. We can decide to close a trade early. We can decide to let it run, you know, all based on what price action and market structure is telling us. So interesting right now. Kind of a long wick to the upside now. Came all the way back up. Broke this high by 1 point, one tick. Maybe that's picking up all it needs to before the move, but, you know, again, just speculating on the you know, candlestick by candlestick. We'll kind of just see what it does. Might be able to put a little bit more size on, depending on how big our stop has to be. Let's see what we get here. Let's check NASDAQ, see what NAS 100 and Q kind of pushing up, same deal. Fake out maybe to the downside, a little bit of a pullback following this structure up. You know, looks like it might want to break above this high and maybe get a nice move in. Just going to have to kind of hang out and see on this one. Excuse me. See if we can't get some action here, man. This didn't tell me anything yet, though. If we get another push down to the downside, I'm going to be looking short. Looks like we might get that coming up. You know, this is a high wick to the upside after it started its push down, so I could like this for a sell. 3 minutes and 35 seconds or so left on this candle. Kind of have to see what we get here. A little bit of measurement using the measurement tool. Somewhere around that 40 point stop loss I think will be appropriate. Yeah, I should have this running so you guys can see my P&L, whether we're making or losing money. Check NASDAQ quick as this is happening. Yeah, they're kind of moving in a correlated way. So let's see what's up here. Slow movement, 315, 313. Opportunity is going to be coming up soon if it comes at all. You know, making a case to the downside, so we'll take it either way. Follow our game plan. If it comes down here and I jump in somewhere around that 30, 35 point stop loss will be somewhat appropriate. Gotta stay patient, man. That's the name of the game. This would have been a sell. Too quick, too early. Stop me out here or here if there was a stop loss. Maybe that's all it needed to do. Catch everybody on the front end, and we're gonna fall from this. We get another candle that comes down to the downside, starts pushing below these closes and these lows. Or if this candle starts to push, I'm going to go ahead and get short on this, and we'll try the short side. Target, you know, somewhere down to these lows or below based on where we have to put a stop loss. We'll decide that, but I think it can definitely run down to retest the lows of the day. If not, push even further down. But a little bit more volume coming in. Not a whole lot, but this will be the move coming up pretty soon if we're going to get one. What are we going to do for us, Dow? We want some money, man. I want to finish this one up strong. Would like to turn this into a bigger day, man, but need to wait for the market to tell us what it's going to do. That's the name of the game. U.S. indices are cool, though, man. they can be frustrating when you're on the wrong side of them, but they provide some really good opportunities. I mean, this price moves quickly. You could size up pretty nicely depending on whether you're trading Forex or CFDs or futures. But yeah, they provide some nice opportunity at NYSE Open and close where we are right now. So yeah, coming into like the final 45 minutes or so. Haven't had any kind of really big move just yet. I think this thing might want to move down. I know I was saying to the upside. The way this has started to play out, could be setting up a move to the downside. I'm really going to look either way on this one coming up really soon. Not enough where I would have any kind of, stop order fill, but watch price action. This could have been, clearing out whatever it needed to by pushing up or pushing down before the move. But we'll wait and see. Jump over to NASDAQ quick again. Kind of the same BS. NASDAQ's making a case to the upside a little bit clearer. This has, been decent structure so far. Hasn't broken above this high. But we didn't put a fresh low in the way we did on the Dow. So a little bit different structure. Let's just stay focused on the Dow because it will probably happen quick if it's going to happen. Last week I jumped in on the first really big candle, pulled back, stopped me out, and then the next move was the winner. So you can get stuff like that as well, but looking at the time frame, I'll probably hop in if I'm going to on the momentum of the candle that's pushing up or down. Yeah, again, man, just looking at price action, the feel of this thing, it looks like it wants to fall. So again, probably throw about a 30-point stop loss. If I go ahead and get short on this, which it's looking like I'm going to, I'm going to start with this 40 and I'll just drag it down to a spot where it makes sense, probably just above these candle highs right here. What are we going to do now, Dow? What's the game plan, man? Less than a minute left on this candle closing. Push to the downside happening right now. Big wick to the upside. This is some bearish price action right here. This doji looking candle, again, with a wick just above this one right here. That's kind of bearish. Waiting right now. Don't want to jump in too early. But this could be setting up for a sell for me here. Not yet. Not yet. Starting to get some movement, though. Starting to get a little bit of volume that ticks up, a little bit more movement, price moving a little bit quicker, a little bit larger candles. 3:20 Eastern, 3:20 p.m. Eastern. So getting close to that NYSE close. This is the time for the move. Yeah, I'm probably going to be taking, if I take something, it's going to be on the breakout. Because this is just too much back and forth chop to get caught in. But let's see. Is NASDAQ breaking to the upside yet? Not yet. This could be a tough one. Could be a tricky one to trade. Didn't break above any of the prior highs of recent candles. We're still below prior bar high. This to me is still looking bearish. If this one flips and starts to come down again, I try to give you guys a little bit of a heads up because, you know, there's a lag between what you're seeing and hearing from me and what YouTube is streaming, I'm sure. Even though I've got ultra low latency checked off. Just so you have an idea of, as this is playing out, what my thought process is. Still thinking, I mean, it's pretty choppy at the moment. We got, you know, just recent bars is what I'm looking at right now. You know. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. 322. Clock's ticking. Is it going to break down, man? It looks like it's going to. Yeah, I hear you, man. Looks bullish to me, like it's trying to break out. Yeah, this to me looks like it's coming down. These high, you know, wicks to the upside. It's just been too choppy for me to want to get in. My gut tells me that it's going to come back down and check the lows, but I don't trade solely off my gut. I got to trade off of price action and market structure. So this has been really choppy so far, man. I'm hesitant to jump in right now on this short. Testing these lows right here. If it breaks below, it might fall quickly, in which case I'll miss this move. But just going to give it a second to see what it wants to do. I don't want to be caught on the same, you know, bullshit that happened over here where it, you know, just bounced right back up. This is the 5 minute, guys. I'm on the 5 minute chart here. I think that P&L is blocking the time frame, but this is the E-mini Dow in the futures market on the 5 minute, almost the exact same chart as US 30. If you're looking in the CFD market, you know, your candles are going to be slightly different. The market structure is going to be exactly the same. The price will also be different based on your broker. This is coming from, you know, the futures market. This is what everybody would be looking at if you have real-time data coming from the futures market. But in the CFD market, it's all over the map. Yeah, so no full break, man. Again, I'm kind of just hanging out. I might not get a trade on this one. You know, I might miss it at this point. If it does decide to break up or down, I might be too late to the party. This has just been a lot of overlapping shit. Stuff like this, as it comes down, gets really tempting to sell on the breakout. Same thing as it's pushing up. When you see that real strong bar coming out, it looks like that might be the, you know, the quick move to be you know, jump in and get 60 points, something like that. But I'm just going to wait and see. It still might start to break down. Like, again, most recent structure on this 5 minute chart is looking somewhat bearish. Like, it tried it up here. This was the pushback, push down, break below these lows, pick up, liquidity stops, whatever you want to call it, and then push up. And we really didn't get it, man. If it was going to move, this kind of would have been its chance. Now it's all the way back down, but again, not super convincing to the downside either. So I'm going to give it a second, but I'm being honest, I'm probably going to miss this one if it goes to the downside. Too much choppy bullshit, and if I was sold on it going, I'd want to be in right now with a nice entry. So wait to see what kind of structure we get developing, and I'll make a decision from there. This looks like it wants to go. Let's check NASDAQ real quick. NASDAQ down below recent lows as well. Still waiting on this one. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to do it. Again, if it was going to push to the downside, one of these should have been the nice candle. Maybe it's gonna, maybe it's gonna fall right now, but I'm not jumping in just yet. That's a nice push to the downside, breaking below the lows. 30 pips, 30 point stop, 30 tick stop will put me somewhere up here. $327. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna wait on this one, guys. It's too much choppiness, and this is kind of just coming in to sell, as it's breaking the low, and it wouldn't have played nice over here. I don't know if it's gonna play nice with us over here. I'm just not. It's just not fitting my criteria. And again, I like to get a little bit aggressive on this and try to catch the move. But I don't like to just arbitrarily jump in. Just going to wait to see how this one plays. Again, if it's going to fall, it's probably going to be a pretty quick move, in which case I'll be missing it. But I don't know about this one. This one would have got me, and it showed its hand with this move right here. So we'll see. I'm checking NASDAQ again because big impulsive moves usually come right around this time, and we might start to see it on NASDAQ. NASDAQ's got its push down. Again, not below these lows. Could easily still be following this uptrend. Might just be this really slow, slow price action to the downside. If it does come that way, or maybe it wicks up hard. 3:30 p.m. Eastern. I'm gonna hang for it. But you guys know the name of the game. Sometimes no loss is better than a loss. No trade is often better than a losing trade. Yeah, selling pressure is there. It's just not. It just didn't start with the big momentum. So I'm gonna sit on this one. See what the stream's doing. Yeah, kind of just this consolidating shit towards the end of the day, unfortunately. But I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna stay in it. Watch, see if we get some kind of big move out of it. But so far, this wouldn't have been the nice impulsive move that we like to see after an entry. Next candle's pushing up. Does it come up above prior bar high? Maybe. Let's just kind of wait and see where we go from here. There you go. There's some buying pressure coming in. Price pulling back up. To wait and see on this one. Yeah, like I was saying before, if you guys got trading questions, anything specific about what I'm looking at here, about my approach to futures and forex trading related, feel free to ask away, man. While we got some time, I don't mind to BS about it. And once we wrap up here, I could check any of the charts you're looking at. I will finish up going over my forex analysis real quick. If you guys jumped in late, I will go through. I'll go through the couple pairs that I'm watching. A lot of sideways movement in the forex market for what I've seen. Funded trader. I don't. Are you asking me if I'm if I'm a funded trader? The answer is yes. If you're asking about the prop firm that just collapsed with a similar name, then yeah. It's just funny that you said. I think it was the funded trader that was the one that just collapsed. But yeah, man. So I've been working. I came from Forex. If you've been following anything going on with Forex prop firms, they've been a nightmare over the last year or so since my Forex funds fell, and then a lot of the other ones started to come away from U.S. clients. But yeah, the Forex prop firm industry is kind of in a whirlwind. I think they're all going to be going by the wayside pretty soon. I think all these guys that are talking crazy shit on the guys that are, weren't managing risk, and the skilled funded trader, all these ones that just collapsed, I think they're going to be in the same boat. I think it's more to do with regulation, but that's just speculation. Anyway, if you're in the U.S., my non-financial advice, opinion would be I'll just tell you what I'm doing. Moving to Forex, futures or from Forex, it's a lot more regulated. It's a lot more professional of a market. The funding companies, yeah, I see you said doing a combine with Top Step. The funding companies that are in the futures market, they work with brokers that are regulated brokers that are operating on, with the data from the exchange. It's very, very legitimate. You have to sign off on this paperwork. They've been around, like Top Step, for example, has been around for like over a decade. So, a lot more reliable. People are getting paid out. You don't have all these horror stories. You don't have rules that don't make sense. Some of the stuff you see on my social media, I'm referring to shit that like has happened to me. I'm laughing at myself in the instance. But it's just it's a nightmare what's going on in the Forex, world for U.S. traders when it comes to, prop firms. A lot of people were using them for a lot of different reasons. One of the reasons is so you have access to CFDs, like, US 30 and AS 100. Pausing that thought, I'm watching this break to the upside now. Again, so happy I didn't take the sell. This is why I waited for right now. It's just too much back and forth shit. If we start to see big momentum to the upside, maybe we get the quick push up. It's 3:35, a little after 3:35 p.m. Eastern. So we're coming into the final, 25, 30 minutes of NYSE session. I'm not, if this comes down, I'm not taking a sell. Again, we broke below. We came all the way back up above highs. This isn't price action that makes it really nice to manage a risk for me. Maybe a stop way up here, but then your target is really far down. If you end up with 35 point stop loss, You're targeting like 70 all the way down here for a 2-to-1. So I'm just going to wait. But yeah, man, finishing that thought, so far what I've seen, because I like to have an actual, good base of experience. So far what I've seen in the futures market is it's been awesome. The brokers are very legitimate. The way that it operates all from one, central regulated market. Here's the push to the downside. See, this is more convincing that this is going to continue down to these lows. It's not nice risk structure for me to jump in though. So I'm just going to wait. Just going to wait. I don't think I'm going to get a trade on this one, guys. Again, big bearish candle, larger than all the rest. Engulfing, came above and is now all the way below prior bar and all the prior lows. This to me looks like it's going to head down towards breaking these lows, or at least retesting them, but it's not convincing enough. And the way that this is structured, the way that this market structure is lined up, is not providing a nice risk structure for me. At a bare minimum, just above the bar that I'm entering in, I'm looking at 30 points or more if I catch it as it's coming down. I don't have a lot of room to just to these lows. I might get a 1-to-1 all the way down to the bottom of these lows. So, I don't love the risk structure, and this hasn't been super convincing one way or the other. So I think this just could just as easily push back up. So I'm just going to wait and see. Maybe something sets up that is enticing and fits what I like to see from this structure, but I'm going to give it a minute. Would rather not get caught in the chop going back and forth trying to chase the market. And just kind of sit and watch it play out, gain some experience, sitting here and trading. Because even if you're not taking a trade, if you're not in the market, people forget that's trading. You're sitting here all day, you are trading. Whether or not you're hitting the buy and sell button and, losing or making money, or just, protecting your capital by not entering on something that doesn't fit your setup, you're trading. But yeah, man, finishing that thought, from what I've seen so far in the futures market, it's very legit, to use a dumb term. The funding companies that I've started to mess with seem very legit. Building, again, some experience with a few of them to try to decide if I want to become affiliated and make a recommendation, and have, a code that to be able to provide discounts and to be able to do giveaways. One of the ones that I'm giving away right now, I'm giving away a $50,000 prop firm account, a challenge, account. It's a futures account with the big name company. I'm refraining from naming anything right now because I'm, again, still just gaining some experience. But if you haven't checked that out, if you're not entered, it's on my Instagram. It's one of the last posts. You got to like the post, follow, tag a friend, and share it to your story. I've got like 8 or 9 people on there right now, like a abysmally low amount of entries. So you got a great chance of winning. It's not even like 1 in 100. It's like 1 out of 10, unless it blows up and, pretty quick. So, you got a chance to win a $50,000 account from me. I'm probably going to run more of them if it helps social media. You got to give back. You got to grow. I like to give stuff away if it's an option. But yeah, man, over the next couple weeks, I'll have a little bit more experience. I'll see if I'll be recommending one specifically or sharing more details on the challenge combine, they call them in the futures market, that I'm working on. So that's the deal. Do you offer mentoring? Yeah, I offer mentoring. I have my paid program. So obviously I'm doing this live for free on YouTube. End of session. I trade NYSE Open, the Dow, same deal here every morning. Obviously, like that's where, the money is at the open. This is a good example of it today. I'm obviously cherry picking here, but I trade almost every morning. I do it through Zoom. I show you exactly what I'm doing. You can talk. We can look at charts together. We can go through everything trading related, your risk management, your psychology, your approach and strategy, the times you're going to trade, everything, answer any trading related questions. You get access to a private Discord where you have access to ask me, again, unlimited amount of questions, Q&A, post charts. I post any of my trades that I'm taking, like, the FX trades. I'm just sharing analysis on Telegram. I'm actually taking trades and entering them in the private Discord. You get access to all that, stops, targets, entries, everything. But again, mainly the live trading and being able to talk every morning one-on-one for really hours at a time. The step above that is my one-on-one mentorship program, where it's a 3-month program. You get access to everything I talked about, live trading every day, multiple times a day, really, now that I'm doing this in the afternoon, all my live trades. But above that, we have hourly, really on a weekly basis, one-on-one sessions. We review everything start to finish. I go through helping you to develop an entire trading plan, not just a trading strategy. Everything that will go into making steps towards profitable trading. Your strategy and approach, your risk management, the pairs you're going to trade, how you're going to work on your psychology, how you're going to work on, reducing user-based errors, how you're going to journal your trades, and then really review with you on a weekly basis, get on the charts, look at your trading, and, figure out how we can work together to make steps towards profitability. 3 months is the time that I believe that it takes at a bare minimum to get some solid experience in the markets, to see some different market conditions, right? Because this week, we might have the bottom fall out and we can just ride it all the way to the downside. Next week, it might be choppy. So you got to give yourself some time there. But it allows for some time for us to go through week by week your trading, what's going good, what's going bad, and make steps towards profitability. I show you exactly how I attack the markets, and I help you, because everybody's different, develop a way that you can attack the markets on a consistent basis and really work towards making some money doing it. Work towards getting funded. Again, I'm going to be trading funded accounts in here once I have, again, a little bit more experience and I'm comfortable actually recommending anything in a non-financial way. Maybe I talk about the size of the account, the risk management, kind of how I'm approaching it. And we make steps that way. But yeah, the one-on-one program, if you're struggling with trading, obviously I'm biased here because I'm selling a program. I get paid for my time. The best way to accelerate your path to profitability is to work hand in hand, one-on-one, with someone who has experience in the markets and with someone who can help you to keep you accountable and show you what they're doing and help you make steps in your own trading and develop your own trading. That's my opinion, but I believe going at it, with just YouTube videos and books, can you get profitable? Sure, you can learn everything you need to learn from YouTube for free. That said, it's a lot more structured and a lot more streamlined when you're working with someone, again, who has experience in the markets and is going to spend an enormous amount of time. Straight to the website. So from Telegram, I have all the information posted, free Telegram. Link is in this bio. And then my website is realdealforex.com. If you head there, you have details on all the programs. If you want to speak with me directly and, we could just set up a one-on-one to talk about it, answer any questions you have, email me, support@realdealforex.com. support@realdealforex.com. Again, that's on my site. That's in Telegram. That's on my Instagram. It's on everything. Go straight to my email and we can jump on a Zoom call real quick, talk about where you're at, your experience, and where you want to go. So, yeah, shoot me an email. And if you need more info, straight to the site. And again, make sure you're in the free Telegram. I'm giving accounts away. I'm doing live streaming. That's where I update everything. I send free analysis every morning. I show you what I'm looking at on Forex pairs. It's based on my analysis that you see on my charts here, the trades that I'm actually taking. You won't get trades from me in there, and you won't get access to the live trading in the morning. That's the stuff I charge for. But for as little as $67, that's the weekly rate to jump on. You get access to all my trades, live trading, one-on-one help, unlimited questions, going over charts, going over analysis, risk management, psychology, really everything, man. You can pick my brain, and we can try to get some steps going towards making money more consistently. So, looking at this chart, yeah, thanks for the questions, guys. Looking at this chart, a lot of rangy bullshit, for lack of a better term, but I'm going to be straight with you here. What I'm leveraging, again, in this market, and really all the markets I trade, is market structure, meaning mainly trend, where the structure is developing. Right now, this has been trending to the downside and been trending all the way to the downside all day. If we zoom all the way out to the 4-hour, we are in a gnarly uptrend in the U.S. markets. Data starts to fade on the real-time data from the futures market. But Right now, let's drop to the 1 hour. We've been pulling back, right? We put this high in. Now we've pulled all the way back down. Bottom fell out on this zone here. What I'm looking at right now is just a bunch of rangy consolidation towards the end of the day. Coming up on the last 15 minutes, we're below last 15 minutes of NYSE session. This to me looks like rangy consolidating BS. It doesn't help me to just get in on a buy or sell, really not taking advantage of understanding where price may go based on market structure and price action. It broke to the downside a little bit below these lows, not even down below these lows here, and then it failed. It pushed all the way back up, expanded. This high, 399.01. Yeah, this was a point or a tick above this high here, so we had some expansion. Pushed to the downside, broke below these lows, failed, came all the way back up above these highs. I would have been caught in this and stopped out. Had I taken a sell here or a buy here, it would have came back below these candles and just taken me out. So I'm hanging out right now and, just going to see how this develops. I don't think I'll get a trade out of this specifically, but this is a good example of what not to do by getting caught up in the middle of this. Again, we're trading a specific time of the day. That's part of the approach. That's part of the strategy. I'm leveraging volatility and volume coming into the market at a certain time to try to not get caught up in chop like this. In the morning, I'm looking at 9:30. I'm waiting for it to open. Usually, you get a few pretty volume bars, momentum bars chopping around, and then price will tell you where it's headed, whether it's headed down, whether it's headed up to a degree, and you can get in on that move. Same thing at the end of the day here. You can take into consideration the market structure, but then we're going to look at price action, what it's doing. And none of this was super convincing. I'm glad that I waited 4 candle closes. Like I said, sometimes I don't. I'll just jump right in as price is pushing. But this is a bunch of choppiness back and forth. If it breaks up or down to the upside or downside, that's fine, maybe. But I'm not going to be in really just kind of guessing either way. If something starts to happen here, we get some move, maybe. But again, we're about 12 minutes to NYSE close, so we'll kind of just hang it out here for a minute. But this is what I do every day, man. Morning, I'm looking at this chart, watching it really through 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning till about 11:30, 12 o'clock. Usually I'm finished up trading around that time frame unless I get stuck in something, and then I'm back on about 2:30. So check this out. Yeah, let's run through some Forex analysis real quick. I'll show you what I'm looking at on. Let's start where I was finishing off before. Get rid of the volume indicators. Boom. 1 hour chart on USD CAD. Similar to USD JPY to a degree where it's at this area of major resistance here. Again, price is pushed up. Higher lows, higher highs. That's how I'm identifying this. Very, very simple analysis. The way I approach technical analysis is very, very simple. I don't think it needs to be overcomplicated. We're up at this area of prior highs, right? Price continued to push up. It's found resistance in the sense that it has not broken above this level right here. It's been pushing off of it and putting in higher lows, not breaking above these lows here. Same thing that happened here. We'll see if we drop into the 1 hour. We'll see if we get a break above these highs at this resistance zone. And then what I would look for is some form of a pullback and then a push to the upside. This arrow is just indicating what I'm looking at potentially happening, not the size of the move, not exactly where I think it'll play out. It can push as far as it wants to up. I'm going to look for some kind of pullback and then a continuation to the upside to make sure it's not a fake out move and I'm not just buying the breakout. If it starts to go the other way, I want to see it get down below these lows before I start looking short. Anything in between here, is a little bit rangy consolidating for me, and I want to see this thing break up. If we don't get it, and this indeed is going to turn from here, this uptrend that has been prevailing since really December, if we look at the date down on the bottom here, is going to turn from here. That's fine. I want to see it start breaking below at least, this area here that it's at, and then these lows here, really before I'm looking to get short. And again, I'd be looking for the same thing. a push down, break below the lows, some form of a pullback on structure, and then a continuation to the downside. Allows me to structure risk, allows me to structure my trade so I have a positive risk to reward, and then actively manage it. USD JPY went over earlier, consolidating at major highs. Let's go to the daily real quick. Really not much change since last week on this one, man. It's been pushing up like it has been for like the last 2 years here. At these highs on the daily, drop to the 1 hour, consolidating right below this major area of resistance. So same deal. Going to wait for a break to the upside. I think everybody's waiting for the same thing. We want to see if it's going to break to the upside and then start to run. If it does, I'm going to be looking at some structure to try to get in on that move. If it starts to push down, if it starting to show us that, hey, it's going to trend down for a while, maybe this is not the time it's going to break these highs and start running up, I'll be looking to get short. I want to see at least a break below these lows over here and then a continuation down. Obviously this is quite a few days of movement. This is really a whole week, so you can be trading to the downside on the 1 hour chart and making money, not waiting for it to completely move down hundreds of pips. So we'll see what happens from here. I got an alert set below this area here. That's my area, and alert just above these highs. Again, I'm not jumping in long as soon as it starts breaking. I'm going to wait for some market structure, some risk, some way to manage risk on a pullback and a continuation to the upside. That's really going to sell this move. If it runs to the upside, I'll be late to the party, but that's just the nature of the game, not taking breakouts and getting faked out all the time. Like, again, there are probably some people that had orders just above here. This is the 1 hour chart. Broke above by 10 pips. I bet people were buying right here and immediately stopped out. If you had a stop below this low or anywhere below this price action, on a lower time frame. On Euro USD, again, went over this a little bit earlier. Looking for this to continue to the downside. Here is the 1 hour. Where is price headed, guys? It's not headed up, right? Like, this is where price has been headed from a 1 hour view. This is what we're looking at. On its way down, I think it's likely to pull back after this low. Whether it's just going to come and check, this 1 hour area of resistance, order block, supply and demand zone, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. This horizontal area right here, or if it's going to pull further back up here or here, is out for debate. Can it also just straight drop down from here? Sure. I think a pullback's likely after a break of lows. That is traditionally how markets move, and that's what I'll be looking for. So I've got a alert up here. I've got alert if it just comes down and breaks below these lows. I'll get rid of my big obvious arrows here. I really think a pullback is likely. We haven't really gotten anything. This has kind of just been trickling down. This was a small pullback right up to these lows. Very, very nice structure after it broke below here. And then dropped right off. So this would have made for a nice trade. I had a nice trade off of this pullback. Was looking at, this area right here after a break below these lows with this structure. Played out nice. This would have been a nice move today. Would have been trading news. 10 a.m. Eastern we had. Red folder, USD news. We know that moves the market. It increases the size, the average true range if you look at some kind of indicator of how price is moving. So we just chilled out on that one. I didn't have any sells going on, but I did have this marked off earlier in the Telegram. Again, if you're not in the free Telegram, jump in. I share analysis. I'll be updating these 3 pairs right here, really on a daily basis. Everything else that I'm looking at is either moving sideways, correlated to USD JPY, Euro USD, and USD CAD, in which case I'm just going to hold off trading them. Usually I have 5 or 6 pairs that are up here. I'm sticking with these 3. Euro USD is providing some nice trading opportunities. I'm going to stay focused on this one. USD JPY is at a major turning point with the Bank of Japan, I think, having some influence onto what's going to happen, whether or not this pair is going to break up or down. And I don't want to be trading GJ and NJ and EJ all at the same time. I'll just wait and see what happens on USD JPY. It's fine. If you're on the GJ chart, I'm sure you've got some other opportunities to trade. It's fine. But for the most part, a lot of this stuff is just moving sideways, man. Like we got somewhat of a downtrend going on now with GBP CAD. GU, kind of what I'm looking at on Euro USD. Euro CAD and GBP CAD I had towards the top that I've been looking at. Yeah, but again, this is kind of choppy price action too. So I'm really just kind of hanging on. Um, AUD CAD on the 1 hour, yeah, it's trending down a little bit more, but again, it's had these big moves back. This hasn't been super exciting to trade off of. Maybe tomorrow morning I'll reassess and I'll get a couple more up on the watch list that I'm watching, but for the most part, I'm kind of just holding out as USD JPY is going to be my main one that I want to focus on with this big move that may or may not come up anytime soon. USD CAD providing some opportunities as well at this resistance zone, and USD CAD, Euro USD. The rest of these guys I'm holding off on. They're either correlated or they're really choppy sideways movements. Yeah, like this, I don't need to be involved in. Euro GBP, I don't like to trade anyway, but this is some sideways BS. That's what we're calling this here. Some sideways choppy movement. If you like trading ranges, this would be great for you, man. You could have picked up a lot of trades on this. Sometimes I get involved in some rangy markets. I find trading opportunities, but for the most part, I like to leverage trend. That's just better for me. We got the close coming up here. Looks like a little bit of a break above. Yep. Broke to the upside. Let's throw our volume back on so we can see what was going on. Here's what we've been paying attention to. Yeah, a couple of minutes left to the open. We didn't to the close. We didn't get a big move out of this. I'm glad that I stayed out. This is a lot of overlapping, consolidating bars. If we look at this range from here to here, really didn't provide any indication that it was going to blast up or down. We had a couple bars that started to convince us that could have faked this out. As this one was printing all the way up here, this looked like it was going to get ready for a push up. This one could have got me. This was probably the closest I was to entering on this whole thing. A sell, and it would have taken me out for sure. Stop loss would have been up here or maybe right above this high, and that would have clipped me. So we're good. We stayed out of some shitty trades. That's a win. You've got to stick to your approach. If it's a more strict rules-based strategy, that's fine. Stick to it. I try to stay to my plan, stick to my guns. If price is not making a case that it's about to break out or do something, here at the end of the market, I'm going to try to hang out. You'll see times where I get caught in the middle of this stuff. It's not fun at all. Had this bar come earlier, probably would have been looking to get long on it. Big volume, volatility coming into the market, but not right now. We're end of the market here, end of the session close. I'm gonna just let this play out, and it looks like it's gonna come all the way back down anyway. So this would have really sucked. Here's the big push up, wick, and then immediate turn back down. So again, sitting here and watching this play out, even though you're not taking trades, in my opinion, is arguably just as important, if not more important, than taking bad trades. Learning to just sit on your hands, learning to identify conditions in the market where you don't want to give back profits on the day maybe, or, add to a losing day by trying to get involved in something that's just really not gonna give you a good opportunity. Just as important as taking trades, whether they're winners or losers. And again, if you stay focused like I do on the charts and pay attention and really try to interpret and understand and read price action and market structure, you gain the experience. You're watching it play out in real time. You have an understanding of what happened the whole day. I was on the charts, this morning watching these play out bar by bar. When I come to the charts tomorrow, this is all fresh in my mind. I understand what happened, and I come to the table that much more experience, that much more intuition and understanding. This stuff takes experience, guys. Nothing can make up for experience in the markets, watching this stuff play out over and over again. A lot of stuff you see, certain amount of time frame to get profitable, some magic, system. Honestly, guys, most of that stuff is bullshit. Being here, watching me trade, I think can be helpful for sure. Is it going to provide you some magic system or the secret of getting profitable? Definitely not. You can simplify some stuff down, but a big piece of it is going to be experience and time in the markets, coupled with a really good, solid approach that provides you some edge in the market. And the arguably most important piece that you hear everybody talk about, mindset and psychology. Being able to trade through losses, through wins, to follow your approach, to follow your strategy. That's what separates, profitable traders from guys that are just consistently losing money or even break even. So that said, hop in the free Telegram, link in the description, link in the bio. You'll hear more about what analysis I'm just talking about now. I'll be back on here tomorrow, 2:30 p.m. Eastern, to run this back for free. Maybe we will get a move tomorrow. We'll capitalize on it. We'll make some money and be able to go from there. If you want to trade with me live, like I was talking about earlier, almost every morning. Again, link in my bio to get to the free Telegram or the website, realdealforex.com. If you have any questions for me on my programs, anything you see here, you're interested in trading live with me, support@realdealforex.com comes directly to my email. We can jump on a call, go through what it takes to get involved in the one-on-one program or to be trading live with me. So again, don't let reaching out hold you back from making some improvements in your trading. But guys, thank you for joining. Appreciate you being on. If you've been on this long, thank you. Quick reminder, none of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Most traders lose money. You're probably going to lose money. If you're crazy enough to listen to someone on YouTube, then I appreciate you being here. But anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow. If you be back on again, 2:30 p.m. Eastern, I'll be here for free trading the E-mini Dow for NYSE close. Other than that, have a great night and keep it green, guys.